This is my victory garden. Started one in the backyard. And today, for the first time, I will be growing potatoes in 5-gallon buckets. So here are my seed potatoes. I got them from Wood Prairie Family Farm. And I got my 5-gallon buckets. What you want to look for is this 2 in the triangle with the HDPE. It means it's pretty much food safe. These buckets are brand new. They've never been used. And I'm going to start by drilling holes in the bottom for good drainage. So, had to learn how to use power tools. Kind of hard to record and do it at the same time. Set up the phone. I'm going to drill a whole bunch of holes in the bottom of this bucket so that the roots don't drown, that the water has no place to go, the roots of the potatoes will drown. So I want to make sure there's adequate drainage. I have a smaller drill bit, so I'm going to have to do multiple holes. Experiment. Okay, I love you. I'm going to show all the holes I put. Got one more to do. Good workout too. Talk about soil for a moment. If you're going to be planting in containers, you want to make sure it says for outdoor containers. If you get something that is topsoil or something for in bed, like in ground use, you're going to lose water way too quickly. Or the water might not even absorb very well. So if you use something that says for in ground, you're going to want to mix that with some peat. So the peat will help the topsoil or ground soil to be able to absorb the water better. So if you're going to plant potatoes in 5-gallon buckets, you're going to want to get an outdoor containing mix. So I watched endless videos on YouTube from different farmers, different homesteaders on how to plant potatoes in 5-gallon buckets. And the YouTuber who I like the most, I believe the name of the channel is Nancy and Hollis&Nacny. Anyway, they're from down south and he taught me everything that I am teaching you today. Just wanted to show you how I'm measuring them out. I'm going to put tape on it so it's easier to see when I'm filling. So you want to take your bucket and you want to measure up to the 4-inch line. You're going to put that much soil in, up to here, and then you're going to put your seed potato right in at that 4-inch line. And then you are going to fill it all the way up to the 10-inch line. And what I learned is from there, you let the potato grow until it gets green leaves that are well popping out of the bucket. At that time, you want to fill to this top rim with more soil. It's like topping it off. You do this because you don't want any of the potatoes to turn green. Evidently they're poisonous. And you leave this lip so that you can fill it with water, and then the water will seep down. So I will link his channel down below also. But basically, you got your food grade container, holes in the bottom. You got an outdoor container mix. Fill it with 4 inches of soil. Put in your seed potato. Top it to 10 inches. You know, you wait a few weeks until there's some growth and the greens are popping out of the bucket. Gently fill up to the rim. And we'll talk about fertilizer in a minute. Just want to show you, I filled it up to about the 4-inch line, and I'm going to put my Adirondack blue potatoes in here. I'm going to put these 2 in there. So, this is a great videography, huh? One there and one there, and it's supposed to find the chit side up. So I'm doing one here, one here. I was taught you can do one full piece, one full seed potato, or up to 2. If you want to do any more than that, you'll overcrowd it. And also, you can cut seed potatoes in half and get multiple chits. I watched some research on whether it's better just to use a whole seed potato or whether you can cut it. And supposedly, when you use a whole potato, you get a bigger yield and bigger potatoes. So that's how we're going to try it this year. Talk about soil for a moment. If you're going to be planting in containers, you want to make sure it says for outdoor containers. If you get something that is topsoil or something for in bed, like in-ground use, you're going to lose water way too quickly. Or the water might not even absorb very well. So if you use something that says for in-ground, you're going to want to mix that with some peat. So the peat will help the topsoil or ground soil to be able to absorb the water better. If you're gonna plant potatoes in 5-gallon buckets, you're gonna want to get an outdoor containing mix. So just to get a good idea, each one of these bags was 1 cubic feet. It took 2 cubic feet to fill 4 5-gallon buckets for your first round. So in order to plant the rest of these, I am going to have to mix up some soil. And I learned how you mix it is 1 part garden soil or topsoil or whatever soil to 1 part peat moss to 1 part cow manure. And the peat moss will allow the soil to drain more properly in the container. Here I wanted to show you what I'm going to use to make my container soil out of garden soil that's meant for in-ground use. So it's 1/3 of your garden soil, 1/3 peat moss, and 1/3 manure. There's my mix, and I'm gonna use a shovel, get it all mixed in. You can see the peat moss is almost dusty. This is what allows the regular garden soil. Sorry if I'm out of breath, these bags are heavy. This is the manure. This is the garden soil. And here's the peat moss. Pretty cool stuff. Hi.
That's not your shovel.
Who's now?
What's that?
Kidding around, I'm recording. Wait, giving that to me? Thank you. How'd you know I needed it? Heart's beating. I don't know. Here's what it looks like. I think still some real big pieces of poop. I'm gonna try to break that up more. I think I might add a little bit more peat moss. Hashtag COVID body.
It's a dot. Hit
Okay.
a dot?
It's hit already.
That's probably easier.
It's inside the soil. I'm just gonna mix it up by hand. I feel like I'm better at that. Added a tiny bit more peat. I just wanna make sure the soil will drain well. Kinda like doing it with my hands better than the shovel. If that makes any sense. Get it close up.
That's close.
You sure? You can see inside the whole soil?
Yeah.
So I got all my buckets filled. The first 4 have each kind. Got an Adirondack Blue, Adirondack Red, Yukon Gold, and the Island Paradise. And on the end, it's kind of like an experiment. This is the one where I use the topsoil mixture. And I have the largest potatoes that I got. One of the Adirondack Reds and one of the Adirondack Blue. And the other 2 I'm going to give to my girlfriend. She said she really likes a yellow potato, so I'm going to share the well. So now I am going to mix in the fertilizer, which is bone meal. Now bone meal is very high in phosphorus. It's just an organic mix I got at my local garden shop. Phosphorus is good for root crops, and potatoes are root crops. So the guy in the video just takes a big old handful. I'm going to do the same thing, and then we're going to water it in. Last one. Alright. Gonna water these guys in. Actually, I think I'm gonna set them up where I want them first. Then I'm gonna water them in. Here's the final setup. Got some of them raised, some of them down here. You can see the bone meal. And we're gonna water them really well. So first watering, you wanna make sure all that soil is saturated. And what we want is that bone meal to wash through the whole mixture. The guy says it's like it's almost standing in water for a moment. And you want to keep these things moist, but that's why we drill the holes in the bottom. Because you don't want them to become dry, they will die, but you also don't want them to drown. You'll rot the roots out. These are harder to see. I'm ballparking it. Alright, I think that's a good water. I'll let them relax a minute and then I'll check to see if it's full saturated. Hello, I am back. It's a couple weeks later. And those are my potato greens. So 3 out of the 6 are growing very tall. It might have to do with the type, I didn't even look. So now we are going to backfill with soil all the way up to the brim. So we're going to cover all those parts up with soil. Stand back. All right. Gonna fill it up to the brim, water it in, and then I'm actually gonna go through with some wood chips for some mulching. And my first time growing potatoes. Hope it helped anyone who's a beginner.